Aren't you here? When Ellie saw her neighbor down the hall one day, it was love at first sight. The moment this sweet kitty laid eyes on him, she fell head over paws. The neighbor, a total stranger, was waiting for the elevator when Ellie made her way toward him, determined to win him over. She went to say hi, and although he was nice, the neighbor was in a rush, so he had to leave her behind. Poor Ellie stood there in front of the elevator watching as her crush disappeared. Luckily, after a couple of days, they crossed paths again in the hallway. Her owner, Irene, spoke in an interview about their fateful encounter, describing how her lovesick kitty approached their neighbor as though she'd known him for years. To their surprise, the neighbor was very kind to Ellie. He gave her a few gentle pats on the head, which she adored, and then went into his apartment. All the while, Ellie was very flirtatious, balancing on her hind legs, trying to reach him. We must give it to her. She's one brave kitty. If only I had that same courage with my first crush. On one occasion, several days after their first real encounter, Irene noticed as her kitty Ellie standing by their front door, demanding to be let outside. She meowed loudly and scratched the door excessively, begging her mom to open it. I think she wants to see him, Irene thought. So she opened the door, and Ellie immediately stopped right in front of the elevator. To Irene's astonishment, the neighbor came out of the elevator at the exact moment. It was as though Ellie knew exactly when he was coming home. Can't blame her, really. We all try our best to remember our crush's schedules so we could accidentally meet them, right? Sweet Ellie and their neighbor had their moment in the hallway. They cuddled a bit before bidding farewell and then returning to their apartments. Ellie went inside, fantasizing about the next time she'd see her crush. Little did she know it would take a while before their paths crossed again. After their elevator meet and greet, Ellie spent days waiting to see her favorite neighbor again, but he never came. Irene soon found out that he had moved out and realized this was why her beloved kitty wasn't seeing him. In an interview, Irene shared how the neighbor's absence affected Ellie, who seemed genuinely heartbroken. She mentioned that her kitty would spend hours sitting in the hallway, either in front of the elevator or his old apartment, confused about why he wasn't coming. Sometimes she would wait right in front of the door, and she would look at me, and she'd look at the door, and she would look at the elevator, telling me, like, where is this person? Even though Ellie was a very friendly kitty, always eager to mingle with everyone she met in the hallway, she simply couldn't shake off her crush. She would approach everyone, but never lingered for more than a couple of seconds, unable to bond with anyone else the way she had with her favorite neighbor. His departure literally crushed Ellie's world, leaving her yearning for the days when she used to see him every day. Thankfully, her suffering came to an end. After 6 months, Irene saw their neighbor in the hallway. He had apparently moved back in the building. Like any other best friend, she immediately went into her apartment to alert her cat about the return of her crush. It took her 1 second to realize it was him, and then she jumped from her box and went up to him. For the first time, Irene invited the neighbor into the apartment to hang out. As he sat on the couch, Ellie immediately jumped onto his lap, which was something she rarely did, not even with Irene. From that moment on, they continued their hallway rendezvous. Ellie was thrilled her favorite person, besides her mom, was back, and that she could finally see him again. Ellie has developed quite an interesting love life lately. She's taken a liking to guys with glasses and started approaching more neighbors in the hallway. Ellie is winning their hearts with her irresistible charm, but who could really blame her? Irene even taught her how to do a flirt flop, which she's mastered in no time. Even though Ellie has become a pro at flirting with Irene's cute neighbors, I'm certain she still thinks about her first crush. You know what they say? Your first love is the treasure you keep in your heart forever. Cooper Marcher here. Ciao.